Hi, my name is Chris Hart. I'm a cartoonist, and I've been getting some requests from people who visit my Facebook fan page, my website, to do something on backgrounds. And yes, I do take requests. I listen to my readers. I'm very grateful for my readers, and we interact and talk about things on Facebook and my website. And one of the things that they ask for is some backgrounds. And a cartoony, typical classic cartoony background is a suburban tract house. We're going to have a little bit of perspective. As you can see, these lines converge this way and these lines converge this way. And that's basically a two-point perspective. When you have a corner facing you like this, then that means that the perspective trails off on two vanishing points. But you don't have to commit this to memory, because this is a cartoon and a kooky, kind of wacky, retro background, which means it's going to be tilted and crazy, and I'm not going to pay attention to any of the rules. Just suggest some of them. Now, like for instance, when you have a chimney, usually when something ascends, it converges up, meaning it looks like it's getting smaller the higher it goes. So we are going to do the opposite to make it really kooky and make it look like it's getting bigger as it goes higher and smaller as it comes closer to us, which is really a nutty look, but a fun look. Here's the top of the chimney. And there is the chimney smoke. Let's shade in this part here. We'll make this part the shadow because the sun is here. And so this part will end up in shadow. Also, it helps to define the image if part of it is in shadow. So let's darken that in a bit. Now this is the house and this is the roof. Notice that they're separated by a space, and here the shadow falls again. Because roof overhangs a house. It's not exactly flat on it, it overhangs it. Now, we'll put a line through here as a guideline for the perspective middle. By perspective middle, I mean there's more on this side than there is on this side, because we're looking at an angle. And so we will stick in a little door here, doorknob here, and a little bit of a kooky window. Uneven windows are fun. And we'll give, on the perspective middle, we'll give it a kind of a dome window here. A couple more smaller windows like so. I mean, it could be very rudimentary, very easy, because it's just a fun background. You don't want your background to be so detailed, in fact, that it takes away from the image that you're drawing in the foreground. We'll make this a Tudor. So we'll shade that in a little bit because that's wood. And again, it's uneven. You notice these don't line up exactly, these don't line up exactly. The unevenness is what gives a little bit of character and dynamism. We're going to add a little shading back here, just under the top of the roof, make it look like it's real, the shadow's real. We can do the same thing here. Now I'll have this crazy fence that I've indicated, kind of a serpentine fence. This white picket fence that leads to nowhere. Follows the house around, but just kind of winds back and forth to nowhere, which is kind of fun. And you like to shade in the back parts of it, because that helps to define it. Okay, here's the other house, the neighbor, another cuckoo house. We're going to make the bottom narrower. Notice that the bottom's narrower than the top. That's the opposite of how a real house is. Again, we are doing that to really key the audience in. This is kind of a retro, non-realistic environment. Shade that back there. Let's just give one window here and one door. The reason is you don't want the stuff that's behind the foreground, the stuff that's in the background, to be as detailed as the stuff in the foreground. Otherwise, it looks very busy. You have to prioritize. The background is simpler than the foreground. Let's give the white picket fence, but let's not make it completely straight. Maybe it's because Dad worked on that. That's what they would tell me in my house. I'm Dad. But also in cartoons, the kookiness, the randomness has to come out somewhere. So that's where it comes out. And here is sorry, not driveway, but the walkway in perspective, in a kooky kind of perspective, like so. And we can make it look like it's some kind of stonework, like that. You can add some bushes in front here if you like. A little cartoon foliage. Got some birds like that, and I'll shade in a little bit of sky for you. Just a suggestion of sky behind here. So that's an idea. Oh, well, let's also give this a little bit of a lawn back here, just to give it like a horizon line. Maybe some hills, rolling hills in the background, like so. All right, so that's an idea of things you can do and ways to approach a cartoon background. I hope that was fun. Thanks for visiting. I'll see you next time.